Well, hey, good morning. It's Saturday morning, TGIS. Thank God it's Saturday. That's what I like to say. And it's September the 12th. And happy birthday to my sister out there. She is now 50 years old. She's at the big 50. So happy birthday to you, Mary Jo, and love you bunches. Um, what I want to talk to you today is about something that affects all of us. Every single one of us are affected by this each and every day. And not only are we affected, but we also can use this to infect others. So a little infectious control here. What I'm going to talk today about is attitude. Attitude. Now I know attitude's been beat into the ground. Everybody talks about attitude. But why do we talk about it? Well, because it's something that affects our lives each and every day. Sometimes we need to be reminded of what attitude truly is and how can we adjust our attitude, as we hear many say. Sometimes just need an attitude adjustment. So I want to explain something to you about attitude. This is the J perspective, okay? J perspective. And J's got a lot of J-isms and J perspectives. As I dig deeply and meditate on a lot of topics of life and subjects of life, and I try to add value to others by my expression. Now, my expression is merely just that. It's my expressions, my opinions. Okay, so take with it what you can. If you can, it would be wonderful for you to be able to take what I express to you, apply it to your life, see what needs to be changed, what you need to tweak a little bit, and then also pay that forward. Teach others. John likes to use the acronym ACT, and I've adopted it in my life. How can I apply it to my life? What do I need to change? And then how can I teach this to others? ACT, and that's ACT. So I hope that you take whatever I bring to you through this medium as a way to grow your life, and also offer up not suggestions, but well, even suggestions, but comments as well. And if I'm able to impact your life in some way, I'd love to hear your story, your backstory as well as your present story. And I had something pop up on the screen there I wanted to get rid of. There was an iTunes sign in, and I'm not ready to sign in yet. But anyway, and you probably didn't see that on that end, but I saw it right here. But attitude, as John talks about, is an inward feeling expressed by outward behaviors. In other words, how we behave is actually an expression of what we're feeling inside, and that's our attitude. You know, I like to say that it's not the day that determines our attitude, but our attitude that determines our day. So how we wake up and how we feel, okay, and how we approach our day is how our day usually turns out. So if you start off with a great attitude and know that it's going to be a great day, but why? Because you're going to make it a great day. All right, that's on you. That's not on somebody else. Circumstances, circumstances and life events and life affairs, yeah, they come and they hit us. You know, we're all going to experience such things in our lives. But here's what I know, though, is that how we respond to these circumstances and these life events can determine how we can carry on and how we can therefore find results. Whether it's we can find our results either immediately or through time gradually. But with a negative attitude, the positive results are not going to be there. You know, because your negative and your positive only work when you're attaching them to magnets. Negatives attract, right? Or negatives attract to a positive on a magnet. But you put two negatives together and they collide. You put two positives together, they retract. So, and that's something for another time, another topic, another time, and I'd love to go in a little deeper on that as I'm thinking about it. But with attitude, you know, what I was saying earlier is that I was having a discussion earlier with one of my daughters, and she was discussing to me. We was talking about the kids, the grandkids, my grandkids, and their school. And one of them started to develop an attitude problem. Has an issue with his attitude. And we got to talking a little bit, and what I want to express to you. In fact, what I want to share with you is what I kind of shared with her. And so I'm going to read it here for a moment. So bear with me. But what I told her is that you know what I've learned about attitudes. Okay, attitudes expressed are the indicators of what is affecting us internally. So he doesn't have an attitude problem. What he has is an internal emotional response issue that is expressed by what we call an attitude problem. There's something deep in his heart, in his mind, in his spirit that is affecting him. And when you can discover what that is and approach it with care, compassion, and concern, then and only then can you begin to understand what is causing the adverse response through his expressions. So he doesn't have an attitude problem. What he has is an emotional need that is not being fulfilled right now. I went on to say that I wanted to encourage her to begin viewing his life through his eyes. You know, when somebody's coming with a bad attitude, and a negative attitude, what we want to do is try to understand that person. Try to look at life through their eyes. What is going on in their life that's causing them to have such an attitude of deficiency? So that's what we want to do. Now, as parents, I've learned that that's something we have to discover with our children as well. Rather than taking the corrective and disciplinary approach, what we want to do is take more of the emotional and the study, the psychological approach of it, and that is just find out what's going on in their life, talk to them, pull that out, become an instant coach immediately, pull out from them what they want to achieve, and then show them, and then pull out from them what the obstacles are, what's their biggest challenge, and help them discover for themselves how they can overcome this attitude problem that they seem to have. And when we do that, two things are going to happen. One, they're going to become aware of it, so there's a sense of awareness. And two, they get to take ownership of that. And when we take ownership of our behavior, we have just displayed the fact that we can gain control on our emotions, and we're all capable of that. The thing is that many of us think we can't. We say, well, that's just the way I am. That's just the way I've always been. That's the way I'll always be. Well, I want to say, yes, yes, and yes. It may be the way that you were, yes. It is the way that you are, yes. And if it is always going to be the way that you will be, okay, then yes, because that's your belief. And when we have a belief system, our behavior stems from what we believe. So change your belief. Change your belief by changing your thinking. Do you desire and think it's productive and effective to maintain such an attitude of negativity, pessimism, cynicism? And if you can truly believe that, then you'll continue to behave that. You'll continue to behave that in your life. So we have to change our thinking process. So our attitude is ours. It's ours to own. If you have an attitude problem, then do a checkup from the neck up, as my friend Melissa West and Paul Martinelli with the John Maxwell team always says. You need to do a checkup from the neck up. Take ownership. So what is going on between here that's not jiving with the way I really truly want to behave and my attitude? So I went on to say. That what I wanted to do was encourage her to begin viewing life through his eyes and his heart, and not by our own understanding, her own understanding. Learn what his language is. What affects him. How can you speak into his world and his life? I do know that in communication, if you want to speak into someone's life, you got to speak their language if you really want to truly connect in a relationship. So when we speak their language, then we're able to communicate more effectively. And I teach a class on that called Everyone Communicates, but Few Connect. John Maxwell wrote a book on effective communication. Because communicating with other people is more about connecting than it is just talking. And so when we connect, our effective communication is far more beneficial and advantageous than if we just communicate. So we have to do that with our children as well. So with Everyone Communicates but Few Connect, we will learn in that how to effectively express our feelings and emotions and our points, but also learn to first find out what their viewpoints and their opinions, what are their thoughts, and then grow from that and truly listen. Don't just hear, but you got to listen. And so that's a class I'll be teaching, and I hope that you will keep up with me and sign up for that in the future. Now, what I went on to say as well is that when we learn their language, we can't expect him to learn our language in order to just adjust his attitude. In other words, we can't just say you need to adjust your attitude, or you need an attitude adjustment, or you need to get yourself straight. I did 26 years in the Army, and it was stressed all the time about our attitude being changed. Now, attitude is huge in the military. Regardless of what branch you serve, you've got to have a positive attitude. And there's a lot of attitude building exercises that we do with communicating, connecting with people, and getting pumped up. That's why when we're running, we're singing cadence all the time, all in unison. And it gets you pumped up. So there are attitude building exercises that you can do to help you with that. But a lot of it's based on personal emotions. What's going on inside? It's hard to go to a party and celebrate if you just experienced a bad breakup. That's an emotion, and we'll wear our emotions out. Some people hide their emotions, but they don't hide them as well as they think they do, and as they say they do. While others wear their emotions on their sleeve while they're trying to hold back as much. And so that's just a difference in personalities. Myself, I'm one of those. I can wear my emotions on my sleeves sometimes. If I'm upset or angry, I don't have to say anything. You could just tell it. My wife loves to say, I'm either upset about something or I'm thinking really deep about something, because she'll look over and she'll see these little jaw muscles here kind of working. And fortunately, for the most part, it's where I'm just really thinking real deep about something. Because I can truly say that my life is spectacular, and I have not been upset or angry of recent, except maybe some of the things I see in the news, or see somebody being mistreated or treated wrongly. I'll have a little bit of upset, but that's just human. That's what we all do. But there's no such thing as outbursts in much. So if you see these jaw muscles moving and I'm silent, chances are pretty good that I'm just in deep thought. Okay, so in my deep thought, my little jaw muscles get to moving. And we all have little quirks, but we want to learn their language. You can't go. It's kind of like if you go to a foreign country, if you go to another country, and they're not speaking English, you cannot go in there and demand that they speak your language for you to communicate with them. What you need to do is learn their language. Learn their language, and then you can communicate better with them. And when you learn their language and they see that you took the effort to learn their language, okay, then the connection is going to be even greater, it's going to be easier, and it could be even long-lasting, and the relationship is built a lot quicker that way when you are taking the time and the effort to learn their language, okay? And when we do that, then they become more ready to learn your language. So you may go to Mexico, not know how to speak Spanish, but you learn how to speak Spanish before you go. Even if it's just a few key phrases, at least you're making the effort. Get you a little translator book. They got the Rosetta Stone and all that. So there are tools to help you learn the language of other people in other countries. Okay, before you go there, and that's going to benefit you so greatly. So, in that being said, when we learn the language of other people, as far as their personalities, their likes, their dislikes, when we learn their history, their backstory, we learn how they communicate, then we can hear their story, we can listen to them, we can help them, we can encourage them, we can be right there beside them, and we can develop that relationship with them. Before we ever expect them to understand us, we must first understand them. John likes to say, before you can touch a hand, before you can grab the hand, you got to grab their hearts. And I'm paraphrasing that. I may change it a little, but that's what that is. Before you can grab their hand, before you can ask for a hand, you've got to ask for their heart. So you got to touch their heart. What's going to touch their heart? And that is effective communication. You got to connect with them. And the more I talk about it, the more I'm excited about getting the workshop started for the Everyone Communication Few Connect. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and you're going to love it. So as we go on, we got to remember that we express our emotions and needs through our attitudes. That's how we express ourselves, through our attitude. But our attitudes are not the tell-all to that emotional need. So just because we see an attitude and it's a bad attitude, it doesn't mean that it's a bad person with a bad, they may be having a bad day, but what's causing the bad day? Everything has a cause and effect. A cause and effect. So what you're seeing in an attitude is not the cause, but the effect of the cause. And when we discover what the cause is, then we can understand the attitude. Now, then we can understand the cause, and how do we navigate that? Because I truly believe that with every cause, there can be an alternative effect. An alternative effect. How we react and respond. We have a choice. We can react to an event, or we can respond to an event. Either way, there is some form of action we must take, even if it's taking no action. No action is still taking an action. It's done by choice, that I choose not to take an action. That's a response. Now, reaction is like when two trains hit, boom, they collide. They collide. When two trains come together, the negative impact there is going to collide them. Well, it's the same with our emotions. If we have a negative emotion coming to us and we respond in the same way, we're actually reacting. Okay? But if we have a negative coming at us, we choose to respond by saying, well, wait a minute, how do I handle this? Maybe I just need to let it go on and bypass me, or maybe I just need to slow the reaction down and say, hey, let's stop, let's talk about this, let's find out what's going on, what's really going on here. And so our attitude today, and I've been on this talk now for about 16, almost 17 minutes, 16 and a half minutes. So, because there's a lot to be said about attitude. And so I hope that you learned a little bit today about attitude, how you can control your emotions, and how you choose to respond or react to circumstances in our lives. Expect the fact that we are going to have circumstances. There are going to be times that aren't happy. There's going to be times when there's disappointments. There's going to be times of pain. There's going to be times when people disappoint us. Okay? It's going to happen. What we need to learn is, how do we prepare ourselves now to handle those moments when they do occur? And that's learning how to develop our skills in our attitude. Our attitude is an outward expression of our internal emotions. So, I hope I was able to enlighten you, encourage you today. Focus on your attitude today. Focus on what's going on with somebody else if they seem to be having a bad attitude. Focus on the people that are having a great attitude. Sometimes, like if I'm going through a drive-through somewhere, I'm always happy. I'm always just saying, hey, I hope you're having a great day. How is your day today? What's your name? Hi, I'm Jay Goff. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And it takes people by surprise sometimes. I don't do it because I'm whacked out of my skull. I do it because I want to affect and change lives. And when you do that, it's amazing how just a smile is an expression of our attitude, okay? And it can change your attitude. So when you smile at people, and it's that expression of attitude that we possess, then we actually become infectious. We become contagious. People smile. When I was at the live event in Orlando last month with the John Maxwell team, we had around close to 1,600 people show up from around the world. I believe it was from like 117 countries. And it was amazing. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And I got to meet people from around the world, sit down. I had breakfast with them. I had lunch with them. Dinner, I sat at the table. We mingled and chatted in the lobby of the Orlando Marriott, which is the largest Marriott in the world in Orlando, and it was phenomenal. It was exciting. I never thought I'd be in a place like that, but there I was. And what I noticed is this. And I want you to do this. I want you to try this exercise. When you are approaching somebody, and we're always in passing of somebody throughout the day. We're always passing. Okay? I want you to smile. Smile at these people. Just smile. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say anything. You don't even have to say good morning, good afternoon, how you doing. Just smile. Just walk by and smile. And a real smile. Not one that looks like kind of forced, okay? Like we do in some of our grandma's picture times or something. You know, everybody gathers together and I take a picture, and everybody say cheese, cheese. You know, you make these weird faces, but smile like you're like happy to meet them. You're happy to see them, and that you know something they don't know. It's the fact that you are in control of this day. Because why? It's not the day that controls your attitude. It's your attitude that controls the day. Smile, and you will change hearts. You'll change lives. So, 20 minutes. Didn't know I could talk that long, did you? Well, trust me, I can talk a lot longer. And I hope you're up for it. I'm Jay Goff. I'm with Strategic Life Resources and a proud member of the John Maxwell team. I represent, and thank God it's Saturday. Hey, can't wait for Monday to come along, right? And Monday morning, I want you to attack Monday. Say, thank God it's Monday. You got to have the Monday before you get to Friday, right? You got to have a little rain to appreciate the sunshine. All right? So, love Monday. It's just a day. What's going to make it is your attitude. God bless you guys. I can't wait to talk to you again. And be looking for me on Facebook, Jay Goff. You can also go to Strategic Life Resources. Find me there. Check out the website. And for resources, as far as the books and the workshops and things like that, I want to encourage you. Go to johnmaxwellgroup.com/Jay Goff. That'll be my page. You get to order the books. You get to, and anything that you order, and I will get residual whatever off of that. That's going to help the teens in the Springfield, Missouri area, which is actually a collaborative of many people, a collection of many young teens that are homeless and have collected in Springfield, Missouri, looking for help. We're developing a leadership academy. I told you about that lead up, and so that's going to help them. So I want to encourage you, go check it out, get the books, contact me. I'll be holding workshops and lunch and learns, masterminds, speaking. I'd love to come to speak to you and your organization, and about leadership and personal growth and professional development. So look me up on Jay Goff. Let's be friends. Well, let's be FBFs, Facebook friends. And I look forward to meeting you again. Until then, God bless, and thank God it's Saturday.